Hey guys, Tyro here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Semoskiy Winter, playing for you today. Spawning in the north we have Cruzz, playing as OKW, and his loadout is Special Operations, Scavenge, and Breakthrough. In the south we have Barton playing as the Soviet Union, and his loadout is Partisans, Lend-Lease, and Mechanized Support. And we see him going straight away for Tier 1. Interesting decision on this map. This is usually, I feel like this is a good map for Maxims, plenty of garrisons to put them in. Also a very good map for Partisans, which he has in his loadout, lots of buildings to spawn them out of, and usually the Maxim Partisan combo on this map, very hard to defeat. We've seen that in previous matches from ESL, and this is a ESL match, this one from the January monthly finals. First round, so still top 8 players at this point, and this is actually the decider, game 3. And it's curious to me how we ended up on Semoskiy Winter with Barton as Soviets. I mean, this seems like a very good advantage for Barton. As I was saying before, this is lots of garrisons usually favour allies. And yeah, very good map for Partisans as well. So I don't know how we ended up on this map. I believe they go through a veto system. So assuming that Barton had faction selection and went for Soviets, I don't know how Cruzz ended up not vetoing Semoskiy Winter. So interesting decision. Maybe he's got some kind of hidden strategy up his sleeve. And I'm very anxious to see what it is. So we do see a Kubel coming up from Cruzz, so that's going to allow him quite a bit of capping power, and it's a good map for the Kubel, very large, there's a lot of distance between the north and south, so probably do some pretty aggressive capping with that. But we see a scout car. Maybe this is what Barton was building his tier 1 for all along. He's going to hunt down that Kubel almost immediately, and down it goes. Nicely done there by Barton. That Kubel had almost no impact on the game whatsoever, and that's 200 manpower down the drain for Cruzz right off the bat, so a pretty big setback for him already. So now we see the M3 going in against these Sturms, and the Sturms actually do quite a lot of damage to it, as we saw there. It quickly gets repelled. They spit out so many bullets so quickly there, you know, take it down quite fast. Conscript's going for a bit of a jog. Not sure where they're heading off to here. Going to the north, maybe trying to get some support from their conscript comrades. But they're being sandwiched by this Sturm Pioneer squad, and either way they have to retreat. They're in a bit of trouble here, especially if they have to retreat down this negative cover road. Now we see Cruzz trying to send his Volks in first, maybe try and get them to soak up the damage from that conscript squad. In fact, he's actually just gone disengaged there. Does have control of this fuel in the south, so it doesn't really matter that Barton has taken control of that one in the north. It looks like he's going to focus more on holding the garrisons in the centre, which is a good decision. Of course, OKW don't have any flamethrowers, and if I'm honest, the infantry support are not the best at dealing with garrison troops. Nicely done there by Cruzz. Wins the race to the garrison, and it looks like Barton's going to take quite a lot of damage on those conscripts as they reposition behind the heavy cover wall. In fact, only 3 of those conscripts can actually fire from there, but you can see that 4th man being stuck behind the shed there, so definitely a good engagement there for Cruzz. On the other hand, I think there are only 3 windows out of this side, and there are 5 windows that can fire from this. So that should be a good engagement for Barton there. Very slow paced one though. You have to remember that garrisons have with received accuracy and reduced damage. Oh, we see the M3 now picking up a Flamer squad, going back to days of old. Chasing down these Sturms, and they're extremely low. A bit of a pathing malfunction there. And it gets a bit off track. Sturm's still extremely low, down to 2 man. on this negative cover. That MG's doing nasty damage, and down go the stems. So 2 big losses early for Cruzz, losing his Kubel and his stems. So there's a huge setback for him already. And this M3 scout car is so good on this map. It's like a mobile flamethrower, and it's doubly important because it protects the flamethrower squad. And the building board, down it goes! Runs over a shoe mine. Brilliant stuff there by Cruzz. I didn't even know that shoe mine was there. And it drops the flamethrower. This is Barton's worst nightmare. Giving a flamethrower to a Volk squad, that is just a disaster on a map like this where there's so many garrisons. That Volk squad is going to be invaluable to Cruzz. I cannot believe that twist of fate. And here I was saying that this flaming car was going to be wreaking havoc and get shut down just like that. Nice mine by Cruzz. And maybe Barton should have expected a mine because he didn't see any Shreks on any of these Volk squads. So that is a bit of a giveaway that maybe your opponent has put down a mine or two. Barton himself does have a second combat engineering squad, but he may have to rebuild another one, honestly, because it's so important to have a flamethrower on this map. And he probably also needs a minesweeper as well, so got some tough decisions with his build. He's putting down his tier 3. He's got 30 fuel now, so could save, you know, about 130 manpower and go for the M5. We'll have to wait and see if that's what he chooses, or if he's just saves about 30 more fuel and goes for the T70. We see an aggressive battle group positioning here by Cruzz. Unlike days of old on Semoskiy. But he's placed it down a really good time. No troops nearby to harass this. So if he can hold on to this position, this is going to be a really strong spot for that forward reinforcement and healing. It's going to allow him to maintain a much better map presence in the centre. And kind of hard to range it with AT guns there, so quite hard to destroy that battle group. So pretty good positioning there. Cruzz just has to hope that he doesn't get forced from the map and then it gets pushed down rapidly. So we do indeed see Barton going for another flamethrower, which means not going to go for the quad. Needed that extra munitions for that flamethrower squad. We'll be saving for that T70. He's getting quite close there. He's got a lot of manpower floating at this stage. Already gone for the medics as well, so I'll be curious to see what squad he goes for next. He probably needs a Maxim, if I'm honest. Oh, we got Flamer versus Flamer here. Oh, it looks like the engineers are going to lose that one. And they do lose that engagement. And that's what I was saying, man. These Volks with Flamer, that's a big feather in Cruzz's hat right now. And as we can see, if we go to the tactical map, Cruzz taking a really commanding position. And I think that's because Barton was floating a bit too much manpower as he was saving up for his T70. But I mean, I can understand he doesn't want to go for another conscript squad because conscripts, you know, they don't really have access to weapon upgrades, so they don't do too well in the late game. Really needed to go for a Maxim, but didn't want to spend that extra bit of fuel and delay his T70 further. So he's stuck between a rock and a hard place in terms of manpower expenditures there. Ooh, first Shrek misses this target. And you do have to remember, T70 quite a small tank, so at max range, Shreks have a very good chance of missing it compared to larger tanks such as the IS-2. So first Shrek connects. Luckily Barton has some common engineers on hand for repairs, and he has gone for Lend-Lease. So perhaps a bit late, just because do come online at 2 command points, and now he's doing this at 4. And what I was saying earlier about needing Maxims, I mean, he could have mitigated that and his manpower float by Selecting this doctrine a lot earlier, but better late than never, I suppose. And these Dishkas, these things are so powerful, good damage and incredible rate of suppression. These things pin squads in the blink of an eye. Definitely the best machine gun at the moment. Only come in 2 doctrines though, and this is by far the most popular, Lend-Lease and Defensive. Defensive is everything you get arrives at 2 command points on Defensive, and unfortunately Soviet Tier 4 is not quite good enough to carry them through using all those early game abilities. So by far the most popular is Lend-Lease, which has access to the M4C Shermans, which are pretty good, especially if you can get a critical mass of about 3 of them before. And your Axis opponent usually only has about 1 Panzer IV at the same time, and then you can generally just run your opponent off the map at that point. Ooh, nice incendiary grenade there. Barton very quick on the reactions, gets out of there in the nick of time, only loses 1 conscript model, and you'll be able to heal that up at his base for no manpower costs. T-70 here having a bit of trouble shooting past this heavy cover wall. And that can happen. These walls do block shots on the regular, especially those light vehicle shots. Sometimes can be mitigated by getting right up close next to the wall, and then they can often shoot up over them. So cruzz is holding the line here admirably, and this is helped by this battle group headquarters, allowing him those forward healing and forward reinforcements that he so desperately needs. And Barton, as you can see, just struggling to get into this middle of the map. I'm kind of surprised that his MG isn't actually firing from there. I think if he just manually right-clicked on this, he would be able to target it, but sometimes Maxims right on, machine guns right on the edge of their range don't actually automatically target stuff. It's a bit unusual. So now cruzz making a push into the center quickly, as you can see. Just half a burst is all it requires for this Dishka to suppress these squads. Now they're crawling forwards trying to get a flame grenade, but maybe a distraction all along, because here comes the flamethrower squad from the north. Nice 3-pronged attack here by cruzz. And the Dishka's going down so quick to that flamethrower. Pops it out now. T-70. Oh, T-70 almost wipes the flamethrower squad, and he does! Huge pickup there for Barton. And now cruzz is going to have a lot more issues clearing these garrisons without that flamethrower. Looks like he's trying to flank around the side with that Raketin, trying to knock out that T-70, but Dishka was there on hand to shut that down right quick. T-70 is probably going to pull back for some repairs now. Does have access to the conscript repairs, but maybe he's forgotten to use it. Very useful advantage. Comes online at 5 command points, and really good at pairing up your T-70 on the front line. I'm a big fan of this ability personally, especially as I play with PPSH conscripts a lot. And what was that? Was that a mine there? Was that a something? Somehow the whole squad goes down there to that T-70. Oh man, so a couple nasty losses from cruzz, and after such a great, a great comeback after losing 2 Sturm, his Sturms and his Kubel, he's back on the ropes. Still has this forward battle group and has put his Schwer down here in the south. So it's covering that southern VP ammunition, so that's going to be extremely hard for Barton to push, but I suppose he could move a couple of Zis guns down there and put a siege on it if he really needed to. Does expose him though from troops coming from this direction. If he holds on to the strong house though, he definitely could put a siege onto that southern tech structure. So cruzz is briefly without fuel here. Looks like he's bringing out a Panzer IV though, so he's reached the magic number. As for Barton, still 2 command points away from his M4C Sherman Corns. And kind of surprisingly, he hasn't actually saved that much fuel. Usually by the time he gets to 10 command points, he'll have enough for about 2. But it looks like at this rate, he'll only have about fuel for maybe 1.5. Let's see a conscript squad going down there in the north to those Volks. So, cruzz starting to level the playing field in that respect. Oh, and now we've got an LMG-34 on this Ogre squad. This is so hard for Barton to deal with now. Look at how quickly they're gunning down these conscripts at long range. Duska's doing a good job locking down the centre. Ooh, a nice thorough salvage there on that Kugelrick. So here we go, Panzer IV on the field, upgrading it with the Pintle Mount machine gun. Looks like he's going to make a run. Oh, he's going to run straight through the hedge perhaps? I don't know if he can crush that. I think you need a heavy tank to crush those hedges. So now Duska's in a bit of trouble. Oh, what? Barton? I was wondering what was happening with his fuel. He put down his tier 4 tech structure and he's bringing out an SU-85. Now I know the SU-85 is widely regarded as not that good until it vets up. Until it gets to vet 2 and vet 3, its accuracy is poor. So generally regarded to be not that great of a tank. And we have seen Barton and Captain Price using them quite a lot recently. And I don't know if they're being serious or if they're just trolling, but we're going to be seeing a SU-85 from Barton here. I'm kind of surprised he didn't just save that Lindley Sherman, honestly. Duska takes a incendiary grenade, has to back off, and here comes SU-85. One shot, rear armor of Panzer IV connects with the squads pinned, unable to launch their rockets. But the SU-85 does not chase. Turns back in base for cruzz, return to the front line, needs that for the repairs. Still hasn't ticked that forward retreat point yet for his battle group HQ. Doesn't feel like he can afford the 300 manpower that would cost him, and that would essentially be a squad that he would be down on the field, and after suffering quite a few losses, just doesn't feel like he's gained enough advantage to squeeze out that until now. Looks like some predictive infiltration grenades going onto the garrison, and they find their mark, doing quite a lot of damage to this conscript squad. He's going to have to evac that almost immediately. Oh, he's going to jump in there though, flamethrower. No, he's going to go around the long way and getting sandwiched here from the north. Panzer IV. So operating a tank destroyer on this map can be difficult. There are a lot of shot blockers and they're not the most maneuverable, so it can really help to have a turret on a map like Semoskiy. But at the same time it can be hard to flank them sometimes, so we have to see who makes the most out of this map. Okay, Barton now investing in a Katyusha. Good choice actually. I mean, he knows that this fourth battle group is here, so he's going to get some indirect fire to put some damage onto that fourth position, and quite a lot of troops clustered around this area. The Katyusha should have little trouble finding a target to rocket. Okay, there we go. SU-85 first shot connects with the wall, unfortunately, and doesn't use attack grounds, just going to disengage. This guy's still doing a terrific job locking down the center of the map. And all the cruzz really has to deal with it is that Panzer IV at the moment. If he had a mortar, he could just put a siege on them, as I was saying before. But the infantry support gun just not that good. against garrisons. Oh, T-70 in big trouble. Needs to activate the self-repair here. Oh no, he uses attack round there instead of rounding the corner and perhaps exposing himself to the Su-85 fire, and doesn't find its mark. So perhaps Barton was wiser than me, not activating the crew repair, but I wouldn't take that risk. This thing still has plenty of utility, especially as a recon vehicle in the late game, and also really good at counter-harassing on such a large map as this. So first Katyusha barrage coming in, flattens this garrison, but I don't know if he got any kills there. No, just a little bit of damage. So a nice avoidance there by cruzz. Barton did bring it up a decent way here. Perhaps could have brought it up to about here, a bit closer, but yeah, you do have to get your Katyusha quite far forwards to reduce its scatter for it really to be effective. Can't just sit at max range like you can with other indirect fire weapons. Glide beat. Oh, wow, Su-85 putting a siege on this from the north. And where's this Raketin here? Okay, Raketin's both in a bad position to react to this. Su-85 putting some good damage onto this battle group. We see cruzz trying to repair that, and he does have the support package, so he does have that increased repair speed. Now the Su-85's deciding to disengage, but I mean that's definitely giving cruzz another thing to think about now. Doesn't have free reign, and now Panzer IV trying to take down this church in the centre. That's going to make things a bit harder for these Dishkas to operate. Su-85 connects. Got two Raketins nearby though. Su-85 decides to disengage. Now Panzer IV switches targets to this garrison. This thing seems so low. This is Dishka going to go down. One more P4 shot, and it does. Dishka goes down, gets flattened by that Panzer IV in the building. Okay, we've got Katyusha rockets coming in. Okay, he's just firing blind here onto the battle group again. Looks like he's going to pick up a couple Raketin worth of kills. Oh, he clears that one rather luckily. Also does a bit of damage to the structure itself. Oh, could this be another Dishka going down here? Not quite. Barton extremely lucky to get away alive there. Probably needs to field himself another Dishka, honestly. He wants to keep these ogres and Volks blobs at bay. Oh no! He spotted the mine there with the sweeper. Uses attack round, but still loses one squaddy from that Volks squad in order to take it down with his Shrek. But yeah, I mean, things seem to have stagnated somewhat here. These are the lines of battle. Barton having a slight advantage, having perhaps one or two extra sectors, but pretty even in terms of territory, and it's really becoming a slug match over the central VP right now. Be curious to see what Barton does with his next bit of fuel, whether he goes for a Lend-Lease Sherman or something else. Lend-Lease Sherman will keep this Panzer IV on its toes at the same time. Interesting to see what cruzz goes for. He's getting close to another Panzer IV worth of fuel, or if he just goes all the way for something slightly more expensive. Has put down his mechanized regiment, so could even save for a King Tiger, and King Tiger is excellent on this map. I feel like this is one of the best maps for the King Tiger. It can rumble forwards and inflict heavy damage, then vanish behind a building. Very hard to knock it out. Katyusha rockets coming in, hoping to target these overs, I imagine. Ooh, last rocket there. Connects quite effectively. Oh, and the overs go down. Nice pickup there by Barton. Oh no, and this could be a dead Panzer IV here. Su-85 has its sight set. I wonder if he's on focus sight here. Oh, why isn't he chasing with the Su-85? Looks like You might have been off focus side there. No. Well, I feel like that was a big misplay there by Barton. I think he was intimidated by the 105mm artillery coming down and just backed off, but he easily could have picked up the Panzer IV there. Does pick up this Raketenwerfer though. Did another disc go down? This one's got a very low amount of veterancy. Looks like it. Looks like maybe that sunk in the 105mm artillery there. Well, the battle for the mid continues. This is really becoming a bit of a slug match here. How's Katyusha doing? Okay, it's up to 11 kills. They won against that creeping barrage, but they did receive a nerf a while ago, so it's not... You rarely see it used these days. Ooh! That's a big blow for Barton once again, losing his combat engineers. Those are the vetted up ones, so he's going to lose that increased repair speed bonus that they gain at Vet 2. Now his tank's going to repair a bit more slowly, and he does go for a second Su-85, so I suppose this will be good if Cruzz does end up going for a King Tiger, but as I was saying, can be hard to maneuver them on this map. And this Panzer IV's doing a pretty good job, up to 23 kills. Nearly Vet 3. Katyusha lining up another barrage here. Looks like he's just default barraging the battle group time and time again. But it comes good again. Clearing out that Raketen. He's been getting quite good luck with his rocket spread here, honestly, doing it at such a long range and just firing blind every time. Just going big trouble. Here comes the Su-85 though. Oh, both of them connect. Panzer IV trying to round the corner and does so successfully, but maybe this will be a good time for Barton to put a siege onto that battle group if he comes around to this position again. That's down to about half health. He could quite easily take that battle group down right now, especially if he brings along a Dishka for some anti-infantry support. Oh, like a shoe mine went off somewhere. Only took out one conscript though. So if we take a look at army size, we see Barton's actually in a pretty good position. But Cruzz continues to bank his fuel, so it does make me think he's going to go for that King Tiger. Still a fair way away from that, and Barton is putting a bit of pressure onto this fuel. In fact, he's put down a tripwire flare there on the door. In fact, he's put down 2 tripwire flares there. So a very good chance that whatever squad comes in here and then comes out from this side is going to get wiped by those tripwire flares. And that's because tripwire flares actually act in an AoE rather than just on an individual model. Very tight AoE, but coming out of a door, your squad is extremely clumped, and we've seen players make really good use of that in the last few months. Squads coming out of doors for the insta wipes. Okay, so Barton, having lost his T7, he's going to invest in another one, and that will stop harassment of this northern fuel quite effectively.
Panzer IV, ready. Taking fire over here.
Okay, so we have 2 Shrek squads going to the north, perhaps trying to flank this Dishka. Second Dishka covering this advance. Here comes the T-70. Just got to quickly get rid of these Jaegers. Remember, there's only one window from the north of this building, so if you bring your squad around to here, it's actually quite a good engagement in most cases, unless there's a LMG in there. So from either end of this building, you move your troops around there. It's usually a pretty good engagement for you. Oh, this could be a nasty execution barrage here. A lot of squads retreated to this point. Maybe even cancel this retreat point might be a fair idea. Looks like the medics got taken down a couple times. But didn't wipe any squads. A few more models and it's creeping up in veterancy. Nearly Vet 2. Increased accuracy and rate of fire, so that's when it starts to come alive. Really important to get those reductions in cooldown. I believe at Vet 3 it gains more range, yep. Troops are trying to come around the side here. T-70 trying to shut them down by taking a trick for its troubles. Got to be very careful as those squads clump rounding that corner there. Could easily get wiped by the T-70. Okay, so cruzz not going for a king tiger, in fact. Going for a somewhat late Stukas of Fuss. Kind of surprised he didn't go for this a lot earlier. Thought he was saving for the king tiger, and he was the amount of fuel for a king tiger, so curious decision here by cruzz. It will be extremely effective against those discus, of course, but I'm very surprised he didn't go for this a lot earlier. And at the same time, Barton doesn't have a good counter to the Stuka. If he did field a Lindley Sherman, I suppose he could go for a dive, try and find it, but yeah, that Stuka will be largely uncountered by Barton. A nice push here by cruzz into the centre. We've got troops coming from all angles, and actually cheeky play here by Barton, getting this Raketen around the side here, putting some damage onto the battle group with it. Oh, and now he's got some Katyusha rockets coming in, trying to halt the repairs, and got some squad member wipes. Some good hits there. Battle group getting extremely low, but now cruzz has some troops here trying to prevent this. Oh, and they're Stuka there wipes out that Raketen, so cruzz will be able to recrew that. It looks like the Jaegers did go down though to that Katyusha, so both sides there taking some losses. And that is a Lindley Sherman now for Barton. Oh, P4 making a daring play here. Oh, but he goes down to the Su-85 ball, but when it's out of control, it takes out the Su-85. Gets the last laugh there when it's out of control. I think the Su-85 probably would have gone down to the Raketen anyway, but it's always frustrating when you take down a tank and then it goes for the out of control animation and it takes out your tank in return. That's very cruel. And that was the Vet 2 Su-85 as well for Barton, so that's a big blow. That, as I was saying before, that's when it starts to come alive. At Vet 2's when it starts getting its increased rate of fire. It starts to become a bit of a machine gun of 85mm bullets. Do see a cheeky demo down here for Barton. We see cruzz doesn't actually have its sweepers out, so that could come good for Barton at some point. Oh, here comes some Katyusha rockets and Stuka in return. Looks like Barton continued to just target the battle group blindly. Don't know if that Stuka hit anything. Perhaps it did. Perhaps it wiped out a Dishka. There's only one disc on the field. And we see cruzz starting to accumulate a pretty strong core of infantry. Barton, on the other hand, perhaps has a armor advantage, but there's a lot of Shreks on the field, so he's having a hard time converting that into map control right now. So many Shreks keeping these tanks at bay. And it's a bit of an issue right now for Barton. Does have that Lend-Lease Sherman, but this thing's does have trouble against Shreks. Oh, runs into a tripwire flare there. And that combined with the Dishka and Kostic coming from the flank forces that retreat. Katyusha already cooled down thanks to its Vet 2 buff. Focusing on the retreat point, perhaps hoping to catch these squads as they retreat. Doesn't get any hits so far though. So a nice attempt there by Barton, but doesn't quite convert that opportunity. Interesting to see what cruzz goes for now. He does have 300 fuel in the bank once again. He's having a hard time. Oh, and that's what I was saying. Demo charge goes off. I think that was a Sturm squad that just went down there. Second Sturm squad. Filtration grenades coming in on this garrison. Oh, he actually sets off the tripwire flares there. With those infiltration grenades, kind of lucky for cruzz. Here comes another Stuka barrage. Looks like he's going for the Dishka and the Colstrips. Ooh, doesn't do too much though. A bit of damage, but not many models down. And man, this Katyusha comes down so quickly now. Just launching them at this battle group, and the battle group's getting quite low now. Cruzz perhaps have to do some repairs on it, otherwise it's gonna go down in the next barrage, I feel. Oh, this could be trouble here. Rakettenwerfer does get decrewed. These conscripts could steal this and put a couple hits on it. Cruzz, knowing that, puts an incendiary grenade onto that Rakettenwerfer so it cannot be stolen. And here comes the SU-85 here, daring play, trying to knock out the battle group. Lend-Lease Sherman as well there. Cruzz desperately trying to repair it. Got a Raketten trying to focus on the SU-85. One more shot and it will go down. It looks like it will. Yep, down it goes. Will cruzz get anything in return here? Raketten focusing on the Lend-Lease Sherman. Lend-Lease Sherman focusing on the Shrek squad. Misses that last shot. Lend-Lease Sherman now backing away. The double Dishkas here, putting down some heavy fire. And cruzz in a big bit of trouble here now. Losing his forward battle group. He's got very little infantry. It looks like he's trying to save up for that King Tiger. Oh, Rakettenwerfer gets decrewed by one rocket there. And he's about to run this Shrek squad into the danger zone. Gets out of there in the nick of time. Oh, double Dishkas though from the south. And it's a mass retreat from cruzz. In fact, he's not going for the King Tiger. He's going to bring in a Panther. Interesting decision. And now Barton has to repair up all his armor. Doesn't have any veterancy on his combat engineers, so this is going to take a long time. No, he cancelled the Panther. Is he going to call him the King Tiger now? Probably. Oh, what? The squad. Something down there. One of his Shrek squads went down at some point. I must have missed that. Oh, Lend-Lease Sherman tries to go in deep here. Looks like he took engine damage from the Schwer HQ. And that can happen. It seems like RNG, if you expose your rear armor to shells from anything, it can just give you random engine damage. So very frustrating when that happens, and it looks like that's going to cost him his Lend-Lease Sherman here to this King Tiger. Yep, down it goes. So good pick up there, and nice timing from the King Tiger for cruzz, and this could be devastating against Barton's forces. All out to repair. King Tiger is a white machine. Probably going to be hesitant pushing that into the centre with our minesweepers, because
Prepare to
it's
execute.
pretty much the only thing that can fell the King Tiger is getting engine damage. No, that's when it really limping away to safety. It's very, very slow. The usual rockets coming in. Oh, nice shot there. And this has really been the MVP for Barton so far. 33 kills. That's very impressive. And the amount of damage it put onto the battle group as well was very impressive.
Quiet. Transmission incoming.
Extremely close to Vet 3 as well. Okay, so Lenley Sherman on the scene, but he doesn't want to engage with the King Tiger. Doesn't have that good penetration, and his 240 damage King Tiger shells will make short work out of that Lenley Sherman.
Field promotion.
Take it out in 3 hits. So another SU-85 now coming out for Barton, so interesting to see how he deals with King Tiger. He's got to line up those SU-85s perfectly and hope the KT doesn't do too much damage. KT is a white machine.
Infantry. Counterattack.
Take a look at the VPs. It's a very, very close game at this point. Barton having about a 50 VP edge at this stage, but in terms of army size, we see Barton is quite far ahead. And even further ahead now that that second SU-85 comes out. KT's been slightly inactive, and this is a bit of an issue because all of Barton's tanks were low on health, but now his armored forces are back up to full, and perhaps KT lost a bit of an opportunity there to inflict some big damage. And now he's going straight down the centre and straight into double SU-85s, but double Shreks there in return, trying to inflict some damage onto the SU-85s. King Tiger trying to round the corner. Takes some nasty hits by the SU-85s though. And cruzz lost all his Raketans. That's a big issue against these SU-85s. SU-85s going deep here. Trying to chase it down. But the Shrek is going to dissuade them from chasing any further, but King Tiger has not been getting any good hits in. Even with its 45 range, hasn't been connecting with these SU-85s. Conscripts take some infiltration grenades. Shrek connects again with the SU-85. Got Lenley Sherman perhaps coming around the flank with Raketen for support, and this is camouflage Raketen, remember. This could be a nasty surprise here. No, looks like the SU-85s have disengaged fully for repairs. Still the Raketen gonna force this King Tiger back. Oh! No, that wasn't. That was just the repairing guys from the mechanized going down there to that rocket barrage. Thought that might have been the Sturms for a second there, and that would have been a massive loss for cruzz. cruzz now floating a bit of manpower, maybe unsure what to go for next. Probably needs a Raketen. And he's going to get that one back from Barton. But yeah, curious to see what he goes for next. Okay, he's going for another Volk squad. And he does have enough munitions for another Shrek, so it's probably going to work out for him decently. Still got a bit of manpower in the bank though. Doesn't have too much to reinforce. Could go for something else at this stage, and he needs to field a full army if he wants to deal with Barton's 100 popcap army. And Barton's starting to feel the burn of having so many tanks and only 2 squads to repair them with. Long downtime after they all received damage. Looks like Barton now focusing on the mechanized truck. If he takes this down, that's going to really slow down the repairs of that King Tiger. Looks like the walking stick are trying to return fire, trying to knock out that And Katusha unfortunately does not connect there. Curious to see what Cruz goes for next. Maybe saving up for a Panzer IV. No, he's bringing in a tech truck. So he's going to put his battle group back up somewhere. King Tiger's back up to full now. Turning to the front lines. Looks like he's going to approach from the south. But having control of both fuels could be an issue for Cruz. Nice flank here by these folks, and it looks like the King Tiger's coming around from the side here. And that King Tiger is such a loud engine, real dead giveaway that it's heading in that direction for Barton. Here it comes. Looks like Barton's trying to get around the side, perhaps get a AT grenade off onto the rear armor of it. Of battle here. Shreks versus the M4C Sherman. Shusha continues to put damage onto this mechanized regiment. Could go down this barrage, in fact. He gets lucky. Oh, and it does go down, so that's another big blow for Cruz. Oh, a nice Su-85 from the side there on the KT. That's taken some heavy damage. Looks like he's trying to fire through the building, and these can occasionally get through. Might as well give it a try. This King Tiger's starting to feel a bit pegged in here, I feel. I mean, got a Sherman around here, we've got these combat engineers, we've got these Su-85s on the north. Looks like Barton's got a pretty good hold on the centre, and this KT is without enough support here. Cruz now going for a flak panzer. Oh, nice rocket barrage again from Barton. Oh, and he wipes out that Shrek squad. That was a highly vetted up squad as well. Folks in a lot of trouble. Su-85's working on the flak panzer. Flak panzer trying to back away. Here comes the KT. Looks like he took out a squad there of our combat engineers. See, that's what I was saying. The King Tiger is shooting through that garrison there. Perhaps that's because the battle of his gun is kind of through the building already. But some cheeky plays there by Cruz. He's just doing some random shots through the fog of war, hoping to get lucky. Perhaps there could be some conscript squads there. No, it looks like he's going to back away for some repairs. Sturm's in the base though. Perhaps he should get another squad of Sturm Pioneers to try and speed up repairs. It's got enough munitions for a 105mm barrage. What was that? Is that a mine going off there? I don't understand what that explosion was. Well, I feel like Cruz really hasn't been as effective with his Stuka as Barton has been with his Katusha, and that seems to be the difference in this game so far. Barton definitely getting the better of those indirect fire exchanges, and really not that great of an excuse. Because although Barton did have that battle group to shoot at the whole game, basically, Cruz does have a lot of less than mobile machine guns to shoot at, so I feel like he hasn't been firing this every time it's been cooled down, and Barton has been making very good use of this Katusha almost every time it's been cooled down immediately. And here comes another barrage. Ooh, nice scatter there, almost takes down this Volk squad. Why didn't he just retreat that there? Loses it. There was a Vet 5 squad of Volks, and no real reason. He retreated this squad, didn't retreat this one. Was actually getting targeted, and And this Katyusha definitely the deciding factor here for Barton.
An anti-tank gun has taken the
Here
field.
comes the KT back up to full health. About to run head on into these SU-85s perhaps, and Barton can hear through the fog of war exactly where that King Tiger is rumbling around. And there we go, Barton trying to fire through the building, hoping to get some good luck. Unsuccessful so far. Oh, no, there we go. Shots bouncing though. KT backs to the south. So we've got a lone squad there going for some harassing plays in the north. Crew's pretty much without fuel for the last 5 minutes or so. He's in a tough spot, and we can see how much fuel Barton has banked up. In fact, Barton being close to PopCap now is banking up a lot of everything. Munitions included. Really needs to get another squad of combat engineers though. And there is one thing that Lend-Lease is lacking. Some big munitions sink off map. So you got to make up for that by
Gun crew has been lost.
going for more mines, but I feel like Barton's micro patch is starting to run out here. Okay, if it goes down to that Katyusha barrage, we have a T-70 making mincemeat of this Volk squad here in the north. Well, I say mincemeat, but he hasn't connected on any of the last like 5 shots somehow. There we go, he finally gets one. There we go, 2. Looks like he's not going to chase all the way to base, so got to worry about those flak emplacements. Also, it can be a cheeky thing to chuck a mine down here or here, as this player
100 points remain. He
get those
organized the assault.
mobile vehicles. They're trying to chase down your squads on retreat, snare them with a mine, and then they can go down quite easily from there. Ooh, King Tiger takes down 3 conscripts.
King Tiger ready.
They pop retreat. Oh, this is a nasty retreat though. Yet he could easily wipe them here. Discus suppresses that Volk squad there. Oh, nicely done there by Cruz. I think what he did was use attack ground, attack ground, attack ground, attack ground to traverse the turret, and then as the conscript squad appeared on this side, the turret was in the correct position there to fire on it, and he got the kill. So nice work there by Cruz.
The command vehicle has converted to a static.
Nice micro skills there by Cruz. Honestly, that was very impressive.
Prepare yourself.
KT is mobilizing. Got to be careful though, running onto the ice. Su-85 is repositioning, perhaps trying to get an angle through here. KT backs away though. Oh, here he comes in again. Hoping to deal with this Lend-Lease Sherman. Lend-Lease Sherman coming around the side. Flak Panzer could be in trouble here. One more shot and we'll go down. The Kings positioning themselves. Okay. Goes down. Rikidin's not connecting, and now he's got to back his KT over the ice. Takes engine damage from this conscript AT grenade. SU-85 is perhaps considering to chase. Let's get around the corner of this building, and SU-85s will disengage. Heavy damage though on that King Tiger. Only 1 squad of Sturms or repairs, and they have been forced back to the base. That Flak Panzer will be recruited. Did actually rebuild his mechanized truck back here, so didn't notice that, but it will be available for repairs as well. But still, we can see pretty good map position for Barton, and Cruz getting peeked into his base, or into this southern point here. All those troops getting concentrated, making it very easy for Barton to line up some nice Katyusha rocket barrages. KT exposing his rear armor here. This could be trouble. And now Cruz starting to run low on VPs, now down to just 62. Looks like the repair truck focusing first on the Flak Panzer. I bet Cruz is wishing he was targeting his King Tiger first. Going over the ice again. He didn't learn his lesson from the first time. Doom's going around the north here. Trying to get to that King Tiger. See Barton's armoured force also receiving some repairs here in the north. This guy's Katyusha right up to the front. He's perhaps using, yep, he is using the recon mode on his T-70.
Suffering heavy losses. 50 points remain.
He's targeting that one on the base and actually getting some good hits there. Those two Volks that were in there. I wonder what the recon sight is like on that T-70. Okay, that can see a pretty decent, everything coming out of the base it can see from there.
Supply lines have been cut.
It's getting some pretty good line of sight. Yeah, I believe at Vet 3 that's when it becomes even more sight, so it's missing out on the extra buff, but still pretty impressive anyway. So Cruz pretty much has one roll of the dice left. Flak Panzer and King Tiger back up to full health, so he needs to make something happen. And I was thinking, is there some kind of bug? I couldn't hear the King Tiger's engine for a while there, but now it's starting to fire up again, roaring away. And Barton's been really good with his SU-85 positioning. This is what I was saying, it can be very hard to flank these on this map. Got some Katyusha rockets coming in again. Okay, targeting the retreat point once again. Oh, when he picks up a Volk squad. Man, Barton has been on point with these Katyusha barrages all game. We have two Raketans trying to creep up under camouflage mode, perhaps trying to ambush these SU-85s. And SU-85s will go down in two volleys from the two Raketans. See, this is what I was saying, Cruz being significantly less active with his Stuka. Finally gets a barrage off there, forcing back that Dishka, but another Dishka back here. King Tiger's lumbering around, taking a lot of fire, and this SU-85 just hit Vet 2. Oh, but a nasty barrage there by these Raketans. Getting some good hits on that vetted up one. 105mm artillery coming in. Oh, down goes that Dishka. King Tiger's taking a lot of damage. Here comes T-70 and Lindley Sherman trying to get a flank. King Tiger's in big trouble here, taking massive shots from the SU-85. Lindley Sherman is going to get to the rear arm of the KT, and down it goes. T-70 trying to get out of there. Looks like it may take one more Shrek to kill it. No, Shrek squad's going to go down here. Nicely done there by Barton, pushing that squad so they couldn't fire their Shrek. And that will probably be all she wrote. Impressive stuff there by Barton. Really came down to his Katyusha play. I thought he may be making a mistake there, taking to tier 4, but he made it work for him. Got some really good licks in with that Katyusha. And I don't know about the SU-85 first, but yeah, that Katyusha play really impressive. And yeah, well played by both players. I'll wrap on that, guys. If you'd like your game to be cast by me, details in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.